championship so close you can taste it. Side by side. And your new champion, Preston Rasmussen.
done.
Yep.
Be done. They got him out just in time for him to stay on the lead lap. So that'll be the interesting thing for Reese Gold. He knows he has the speed. The Hokos cars are very good right now. Looks like we're going to go one more time around. The pace car staying out there. That's actually probably helping out James Rowe right now.
Yep.
He's still on pit lane as they try to repair that suspension piece. So he's going to go down another lap. Already down one lap. This will be the second lap for James Rowe. But to get him back out again to see if they can't get a good qualifying run, get it fixed, get him on track, burn the fuel down, come in, put the last set of fresh tires you have, because these guys have 3 sets of tires for the 5 sessions on the day. They'll take the used tires into the race later on.
And we have a scoring loop that has all of the transponders in the cars, and we can actually watch bubbles go around the circuit and tell where all the drivers are. And oddly enough, Manuel Suleiman looks like he is off in 13. I don't know if that is actually the case or not, but we still have Colin Kaminsky out in turn number 11. Now it looks like the Suleiman machine has dropped back on the turn 13 portion of the course.
Indeed, trouble again for Manuel Suleiman. It has not been a great weekend for Manuel. And again, 25 lap or about 50 minutes is the time window, so still a lot of time to be able to get laps in here and get the full race in.
We were thinking we were going to go green this time by, but we might have to, at least according to what we're seeing on our map, we are going to go green this time by. So, no, we're not. Okay. We're getting hand signals here in the booth. It's too early in the morning to decipher everything.
I agree.
But we see a couple of cars out there. It's going to take a minute to get this cleaned up.
You wonder about the damage to the 27 Hunter Macra. The cameras that we have here, the fixed cameras that we're using, can't get close enough to that car to see if there was enough damage where they have to get it up on the hook. And we don't really know what yet's going on with the 22 of Manuel Suleiman. We haven't seen him roll down pit lane. It looks like he's right off, based on our map, our track map here in the booth, that he would be right at the pit in, the entry there. We haven't seen that yet. So here he is here.
Yep.
So that's actually just coming out of turn number 12. Manuel Suleiman coming to a halt.
Almost like something happened to the car. It's what an odd. He was actually rolling and then it just stopped. So James Rowe now back onto the circuit, so he will catch up to the rear of the field.
Yeah, Rowe will be 2 laps down. Looks like we're staying yellow right now. Indeed, as the drivers come through turn number 12, we haven't cleared off Manuel Suleiman yet. They're trying to give him the toe and struggling with it. You got to wonder if it's a gearbox issue or something that he's not able to get that car to roll. If indeed that's the case, they'll have to bring the wrecker out to bring him in.
Yeah, he rolled 2 times by under caution and then just stopped there in the turn 11-12 complex, actually the turn 12 complex. And there you see the AMR IndyCar safety team, and they will try to get him towed back to pit lane. Well, this has been a fun start to the day.
Keeping us busy, that's for sure. Manuel Suleiman, 2 times a winner last year, running for D-Force Racing, has moved to Juncos Racing this year. Again, one of the powerhouses of Indy Pro Racing. Tough for him, Greg, not to be able to get this racing. It just has not been a good weekend at all.
So we could potentially have, depending on just if these cars can get back up and running, we could have as many as 5 takers that could be coming in that now look whatever is left in this session, whether it's 18 laps or 35 minutes, is, hey, this is really now more of a qualifying run for me for race number 3.
That's a really good point. And the interesting thing about it is these guys up front, they're not going to be able to come in and get fresh tires. You could literally win this race and start maybe 6th, in race number 3 if these guys do come in and put on the fresh rubber and able to put down good laps. Not a real popular thing within the paddock about being able to do that, but you have to have the opportunity for a driver, if let's say you're not able to make qualifying, to at least be able to get a couple laps to potentially improve on your position. That's indeed the mindset behind it. But yeah, Greg, you're right. We could have, I got to think we'll see Manuel Suleiman, Rasmussen, Rowe. We're obviously not going to see Kaminsky. I don't know what happened to Wyatt Prokachik. He was out early as well. Here's Suleiman coming down pit lane in the number 22.
Well, the good news is we will go green this time by. The field enters turn number 7 down Holman Boulevard. And there you see Manuel Suleiman back to the end of pit lane. So the pace car will bring the field through turns 8 and 9 and swing that right-hander into turn number 10. What does Braden Eves do? Does he stay patient? Does he go for the lead?
I think he goes for the lead. I think he goes for second. I think he tries to get Simpson. And Simpson's obviously going to try to see if he can't get Artem Petrov. Artem will, of course, have control when they do go to the restart. And I think one thing that Artem probably learned from his teammate yesterday, Braden Eves, don't punch off too early. It's such a long straightaway here. Braden tried to punch off coming out of turn 13 on the restart. That's what allowed Rasmussen to close up and make an easy pass. And talking to Parker Thompson, of course, a veteran of the road to Indy, he said Rasmussen had so much momentum. He could have went to the inside. He could have went to the outside. He could have went through him if he wanted. He had so much speed. So you don't want to punch off too early. And look at right there, exactly the same thing. So Petrov does punch off early. It looked like he may have caught Kiffin Simpson by surprise a little bit. So what I didn't think would have happened is, and Simpson's on full defense now for Braden Eves. Eves is going to try the outside run. He had a good momentum coming out, and he'll go deep into the braking zone. Big wide arc for, and then Petrov locks it up. Eves almost got into the back of his teammate, but the exclusive Autosport drivers run 1-2 right now. Not the way I would have did the restart, but it worked for Artem Petrov.
It certainly did. And Braden Eves, as you said, took advantage of that misstep by Simpson and was able to get that second position. Hunter McElroy now on the attack as well. The field making their way down Holman Boulevard. Let's see if Hunter McElroy will go for that third position.
2-3 wide further back. Front two running 1-2. There's a big lockup from the outside for Anam Ahmed as he's trying to go to the outside of McElroy. Trying to carry a lot of speed through that corner. That whole corner, 7, 8, 9, it's all about being able to get through 10 cleanly. You want to make sure you're late apexing through turn number 7 so you can late apex both 8 and 9 to get to the left side of the racetrack for turn 10. It's crucial. Right now, Artem Petrov out front. His teammate, Braden Eves, right behind him as they're trying to pull away. In fact, they've built a little bit of a gap as Kiffin Simpson now having to battle with Hunter McElroy.
Yeah, Kiffin Simpson, as you said, I think caught a little bit off guard by the Petrov restart, and Braden Eves able to capitalize on that. So the two exclusive Autosport drivers run 1-2. Petrov, then Eves, Simpson, Hunter McElroy will run 4th, and Ahmed in 5th.
Yeah, look for Ahmed. I think making a move to the inside right now on McElroy. Not sure if he's able to get alongside. No, McElroy overcooks it. He's off. McElroy off. He'll go through the... he can't even make the corner. McElroy carried so much speed coming out of turn 1 after missing turn 1. He wasn't able to get the car turned down into the escape route. McElroy is going to have to do a full 360 to get back out onto the racetrack.
By the way, that'll drop McElroy down to 8th because we have 8 cars running on the lead lap right now. He'll lose 4 spots because of that mistake going into turn number 1.
Wow, tough one for Hunter McElroy. Really trying to make something happen here after a tough start to the weekend. Anam Ahmed was pushing him hard. Anam, I said, hey, Anam's not able to make the pass, but it's just because McElroy just missed the braking zone completely.
Braden Eves was the one who was able to negotiate that runoff area, that emergency escape route. You have to make a quick right-hander, and it's a hard right-hander. And as you had said, Hunter McElroy just blew right through that right-hander. Thought better of it than trying to save it and try to make that dive in that right-hander to get back on track. But wow, what a huge mistake for Hunter McElroy, who was poised to potentially get on this pole.
Interesting thing that I noted doing the track walk with the drivers and the teams on Wednesday night, I didn't see any of the drivers walking through the escape route just to have a look at it, to see what it looks like, to see where they potentially needed to be. Petrov, your leader. Eves running in second position. Good battling further back, but this is great for the exclusive Autosport team to be out there. But I'll tell you, Christian Rasmussen still looking good. He was able to go by Jack William Miller. He's a couple laps down, as we know. Like seeing other guys go out of the race for sure to move him forward, but we'll definitely see Rasmussen in pit lane.
So the podium opportunity gone now for the machine of Hunter McElroy, but Kiffin Simpson has actually done a very good job. We had said that he kind of lost touch with those exclusive Autosport drivers. He is able to get himself back into about a 3-car length deficit behind Braden Eves. So a nice run from Kiffin Simpson as he kind of gaps himself from Ahmed right now.
Yeah, all three in the top 3 running 121.6 that last time by. Ahmed back by about a 10th. But this is the best we've seen out of Inam Ahmed, the British race car driver who actually won the British F3 championship, was an FIA F3 racer. A ton of talent for Inam. We're thrilled to have him in the paddock here with RP Motorsport. And I have a feeling they're going to keep dialing things in. And we may see him on top of the podium here before the season's done.
Well, Ahmed currently running in that 4th position. And see who's lurking there in that 5th position trying to regain 4th? Reese Gold with a heck of a run out of turn 14. Reese Gold trying to regain that 4th position.
Let me tell you this right now. If indeed there's an opportunity to go yellow again, and it allows Reese Gold to close back up, I'm not going to count him out for a race win still. Even with that mistake in turn number 1, he's worked his way to P5, as you said. He's going to start putting some pressure on Ahmed. I got to say he's going to P4 here pretty soon. You can see how much pressure he's putting on Anam.
Oh, he will get Ahmed, I would guess, going down Hillman Boulevard. He has got such a quick race car right now. Reese Gold, after that mistake in turn number 1, able to work his way back up to the 5th position. Going to go for that 4th position coming down Holman Boulevard.
Braden Eves having a little peek to the inside of Petrov as well, trying to see if he can't shake his teammate. Gold not able to get the move done on Ahmed. But I will tell you this, I guarantee you that the riot act has been read many times by Michael Duncalf to his team, as Augie Paps does to his, as Jay Howard does to his, as Ricardo Juncos does to his drivers. Do not take out your teammate. We're running 1-2 right now. I guarantee you Michael and the crew are on the radio saying, guys, race as hard as you can, see if you can pull away and make it a 1-2. We'll let you race at the end, but don't take out your teammate.
We'll see how Braden Eves fares through the final portion of the road course here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but it looks like Petrov's able to gap himself by about 2 car lengths, now 4 car lengths over his teammate.
Yeah, Artem won 2 races last year running with Juncos Racing. He's a talented driver and is pulling away a little bit. In fact, Simpson's closing up here again, as you had said, Michael, a little bit on Braden Eves. Top 3 a lot closer together coming around here. And the battle continuing still for P4. Ahmed to the outside. Look at this, side by side. Reese Gold gets it done in turn 2.
Wow, passed him on the outside. A great move by Reese Gold. He will get around Ahmed for that 4th position. Now he goes to work on Kiffin.
Christian Rasmussen a couple laps down, going to work back here on Ahmed. I wonder if Rasmussen's mind is, hey, maybe I can unlap myself a couple of times, get a couple of yellows, he can go to the lead and get back on the lead lap. I can't. We don't have a lucky dog in this series. So if you're laps down, you got to go get it done yourself. I think maybe he's just trying to push as hard as he can, burn that fuel down, get a feel for the car. Because again, that's the cool thing, Greg, as well. He's going to be able to get a feel for the car while they're putting the fresh rubber on. They're in no hurry. Right? They can make changes to the race car as well. He could come out here and really blister down a qualifying lap to put himself back on pole for race 3.
Again, Christian Rasmussen is such a talent from Denmark. Spent the last 2 years running at the rung of the ladder below this in USF 2000. And while he won't be able to repeat this year, even with his success yesterday, how about this stat from last year? He won the first 6 times out in the USF 2000 series.
Yeah, I always say that if you're a second-year driver, that's when you can come back and dominate, right? And he did. Came out of the gate, won a bunch of races, had the confidence, but it was here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway where the wheels fell off the wagon. He actually had 2 DNFs, and the point lead shrunk. Then he went to Mid-Ohio the next weekend, put it back on the pole. I'm good. But then he drives off in the carousel in the opening lap. The lead went down to 3 points, but he was able to turn it around. Really, I think, good for his mental side that he was still able to turn it around, win a bunch of races, and get that championship in the end.
I thought Reese Gold was going to be able to go to work on his teammate Kiffin Simpson, but Simpson now starting to look on that rear wing of Braden Eves. He's really closed that gap, trying to make that move for second.
Yeah, both Kiffin Simpson and Reese Gold turning 121.5s. Petrov and Eves 121.6 last time by. So we'll see how those times start to evolve as really right now, just right at the halfway point. It'll be 13 down, 12 laps remaining when we get back around to the start-finish line here. So indeed, Petrov trying to get his first win of the 2021 season, 2 victories in 2020, and this would bring him right back into 3rd in points. As they run on the racetrack right now, Braden Eves would have the point lead by 13 markers over Christian Rasmussen, but Petrov right back to within 22 points. It's good to win races here. There's a 5-point difference between 1st and 2nd in the points, plus most laps led, fast lap of the race as well. We'll see who ends up grabbing that once we see some guys come into pit lane to put on fresh tires. But otherwise, this battle up front, top 3, I think we've got ourselves a fight. And I'll tell you, Reese Gold's going to get there sooner or later.
Yeah, he's closed that gap.
It was a half a second last lap faster.
I was going to say, he's closed the gap, at least visually. I just looked down at the timing and scoring monitor. He is coming, and he's trying to pass Simpson. But Simpson, again, he and Eves are battling, and that potentially holding Simpson up with the machine of Braden Eves.
Temperature now up to 54 degrees ambient, about 4 degree change throughout the race thus far. Artem Petrov still up front. We're watching that gap between 3rd and 4th. It's the 2 Juncos Racing drivers, Kiffin Simpson from the Cayman Islands, Reese Gold from Miami, Florida. 2 young charges for Ricardo Juncos. And it's an interesting thing. You've seen some of the drivers that Ricardo's had over the years. a little older. Victor Franzoni was in his early 20s. You saw 19 years of age for Rinus VK when he ran here in the program in the road to Indy. Both these drivers, 16 years of age. He's got a couple of young guns that he could have for a couple of years, and they could win some races and potentially win that championship and move up, as he did with Rinus VK. Won the championship with Juncos Racing, stayed with them running in Indy Lights, was able to win a lot of races in Indy Lights, Rinus VK, before making the move to the NTT IndyCar Series. Michael, see what we got going on here right now. Petrov and Eves laying down a couple of really good laps. They went 4/10 quicker than Kiffin Simpson. Kiffin about 4/10 off of what he's been doing.
Yeah, Kiffin had a problem somewhere in the circuit, and now that has allowed his teammate Reese Gold to close in on that rear wing. Petrov, Eves, Simpson, Gold, Ahmed, your top 5. Then Miller, Abel, McElray, Rasmussen to 9th, and Rowe round out your top 10. We have 10 laps to go in our first race of the day.
Rob, what's going through the mind of Hunter McElray? Because basically he is running a test session right now. He has like half of the track to himself. He's still on the lead lap, but he's 20 seconds back of that lead group. What's going through his mind?
Yeah, I'm expecting he's probably on the radio with the crew right now. They may be deliberating bringing him in as well to come in to pit lane. Unless we get a yellow that would bring him back into the fight, being at the tail of the field, he's going to finish 8th. Does he come in, make a pit stop, still finish 8th position? Because we know Rasmussen's likely going to come in. Rowe's going to come in as well. Is that what he does? Do I come in as well, get the fresh tires for the better qualifying position for race number 3? I don't know.
To put it in perspective, he is a lap and a half in front of Rasmussen, the guy behind him. So literally he can come in really without penalty at this point.
Indeed. It does take about 3 or 4 minutes to get the fresh tires on, which is going to be a couple of laps. But we know that Rasmussen's doing it. We expect that they are doing it. We don't know for sure, but I expect we'll see them in here to put on fresh rubber. But again, indeed, McElray pushing hard, although, like we said, well back right now after that issue in turn 1, and then not being able to get down and through what is a very narrow break in the wall to come through that escape route.
Well, the battle currently on track, the closest, I should say, Kiffin Simpson and Reese Gold. That is the battle for that 3rd position. Looks like it might have broken off ever so slightly as we see James Rowe coming back down pit lane.
He'll put the fresh tires on, so we know James Rowe is going to take a shot at the pole, bringing that turn 3 motorsport machine in. They'll put the fresh rubber on and go to work. Didn't see the rubber pulling out there. Maybe doing something else to James Rowe. I'd be surprised if they don't put fresh rubber on to try to get him up into the top, maybe 6 positions for the start.
Unless there's more of a suspension issue than we knew about.
Obviously getting back out, they made the adjustment. He's able to feel the car over a couple of laps. Yeah, see, they're going to go to work on the rear again. Still no fresh rubber for Rowe. We'll see if Rasmussen does indeed come in. Artem Petrov leading the way. It is almost a full second for the Russian driver for Exclusive Autosport, trying to get that first win. It's interesting. We get the drivers coming over here. They're pretty quiet. Some of the international drivers that come over, and I've had a chance to spend more time with Artem here this year. And he's a funny kid and dry sense of humor, but such a talented driver as well. So focused. And I'll tell you, if he's able to get the win here, this will be massive. There's a good fight in the back there as well between, I want to say, Jack William Miller and Jacob Abel. Both those drivers going at it for 6th position now.
Yeah, Jack Miller looks like he got around, made that pass.
I think that Abel tried to make a move to the inside.
Oh, yeah, that was.
Overcooked
Yeah,
it,
that's
and almost
what it
went off in the grass, but then came back on.
You're right. Miller was running in the 6th position, so Abel tried to take advantage there in turn number 1, unable to do so. There's a view of our leader, Adam Petrov, Braden Eves, Kiffin Simpson, Reese Gold.
And Ahmed running in that P5 spot. Jack William Miller 6th, Jacob Abel 7th, and Hunter McElray 8th. The only 8 drivers on the lead lap. A lot of chaos early. Obviously, the issue with Reese Gold at the very start of the race. We saw a contact between Kaminsky and James Rowe. Some kind of a mechanical for Manuel Suleiman and Wyatt Prokachik. Otherwise, the Exclusive Autosport drivers out front and looking good right now. Artem Petrov trying to get that first big win.
Artem making his way down the front straightaway. His teammate Braden Eves behind him. The gap 0.6 seconds last time by, now 0.4 seconds, and Braden Eves closes in that braking zone down into turn number 1. Braden potentially saving those Cooper tires for a shootout here at the end of this race.
Interesting. In the top of 4, the last lap, you got to flip them around. The fastest driver in the last lap was actually Reese Gold in 4th, then Simpson, then Eves. The slowest of the front-running quartet was actually your leader, Artem Petrov. So Petrov's going to have to find a little more, dig a little deeper. 7 laps remaining as he tries to get that first win. And we'll see if Simpson's able to close back up here on Braden Eves.
Shout out to Ahmed as well. He has closed that gap with Reese Gold, so we have the top 5 drivers within a half a second of each other.
Well, what I like to see Anam having some good runs here. He's a single-car team here this weekend. Enzo Fittipaldi started the season with him, but not here this weekend. Has moved over to the FIA F3 program. So it's just a single car for Anam Ahmed. And like I said, I think there's going to be a race win coming in. Ahmed working hard. You can see a little brake lock up in turn 12. He is hustling that car around, that RP Motorsport machine, trying to see if he can't close up on Reese Gold. And listen, I'm not going to count him out either. We're going to look at some lap times here. He is pushing hard.
Yeah, he certainly closed that gap. Petrov with that lead, back to a half a second over his teammate Braden Eves. Kiffin Simpson, Reese Gold, your top 4. Ahmed starting to work his way back into the fold in the top 5.
Here's what's really interesting as well. The actual driver, Ahmed's further back. He's trying to close back up. It's still 3 seconds. He's running very similar times to Gold, but the guy that's the interloper in there down a couple laps is Rasmussen. He's closed back up. He's the actual driver in 5th on the racetrack. Anam Ahmed's the next driver. It's actually Rasmussen in the scholarship car for Jay Howard Driver Development. And interesting to me that he hasn't made a run to the pits yet. I don't know. I would assume that's what he would do, but he hasn't done it yet.
But thoughts on that? And as thank you for calling that out. But didn't they change tires when he was on pit lane during that engine issue?
I don't think they would have done that simply because you need to have the fresh tires when the fuel load's low. You want the car to be as light as possible before you put the fresh tires on to try to go for a top time. Maybe he's content just to run hard here right now and be P9. I don't know. And again, I don't know the fuel strategy as well. When they qualified, did they use 2 sets during the qualifying session, put a fresh set on for yesterday, or start this race with a fresh set of tires? Only the 3 sets for the 5 sessions. Everybody using a carryover set of used tires from St. Petersburg for the practice session. Qualifying, a little different story.
So the top 4 run, then Rasmussen in that 5th position, but he is currently running in 9th, a lap down. Then it's Ahmed running in that 5th, and 4 seconds behind, as Rob Howden had pointed out. But how about Artem Petrov? Gapping himself now 0.7 seconds. This was down to 0.4 just 3 laps ago, but he certainly seems to be in command of this race. We only have 5 laps to go.
Oh, here's the thing. His last lap was only about 0.04 of a second off his best lap of the race. Again, the cars are getting lighter, as I had said, with fuel, so they're going to be going quicker. Temperature up to 55-degree ambient. The track now 62. But you look at the top 4. Only 1.7 seconds separate the top 4 now as Reese Gold continues to put down smoking laps to get up to his teammate Kiffin Simpson. Now, here's the other dynamic. You got Braden Eves trying to go by Petrov. He's not going to want to take out his teammate. You got Reese Gold trying to go by his teammate Kiffin Simpson. He's got to be smart and intelligent in making that move as well. Gold up to P5 in the championship points now as well as he runs 4th on the racetrack. You don't want to throw away a great recovery, because obviously that issue at the very opening lap could have been disastrous. He's been able to come back to P5, or P4. Even a 4th place finish, considering what happened in race 1, is a huge recovery for him.
4 to go this time by. And Braden Eves, Reese Gold is the driver on the move, starting to close in ever so slightly on his teammate Kiffin Simpson. About a car length behind as they make their way through turn number 1, but Artem Petrov, what a great run. Eves, Simpson, Gold, and Ahmed, your top 5. Again, 4 laps to go. And finally settled down in this, and everybody kind of in cruise control now. And I thought Reese Gold potentially would make a bigger charge, but potentially saving something for these last 2 laps.
Well, let's just say this right now. Here comes Rowe back down pit lane in the number 3, but let's just say this right now. Remember, Artem Petrov started in the 9th position. So on that opening lap, when all the chaos happened, he was able to find his way through into turn 1. And then, of course, Reese Gold goes off, and then we watched Braden Eves make that split decision to go off to the left and down the escape route. Somehow, Petrov worked his way from 9th up into the lead, and we know he has the speed to get the job done, and he's showing all the talent right now, right? He's just everything that he's done to win races in the past, he is showing here right now, trying to hold off his teammate. Right now, a really good run for Exclusive Autosport. Laps winding down. We'll see if Petrov is able to finish this one off.
It'll be 3 to go this time by. Field working their way out of turn number 14. The Indy Pro 2000 Grand Prix of Indianapolis, race number 2. And everyone equally gapped as they make their way down the front straightaway.
Yeah, Reese Gold falling back a little bit there. 121.639 last time by. So he's no longer challenging Simpson. The gap still about 1.7 in total.
Nam Ahmed able to make up a little bit of ground. Now 3.9 seconds behind, but certainly not in any type of position to try to take over that fourth position on track.
I'll say this, though. Anam Ahmed in the 77 for RP running fifth. He was faster than the leader last time by at a 121.442, where Petrov did a 121.544. So he's got the speed to run up front, and I think that's going to be something that they're going to be able to hang their hat on here. This will be his best finish of the year, P5. And a single-car team for Anam Ahmed, the British driver, his debut season in Indy Pro 2000. Petrov up front, though, getting the job done thus far. Can he wrap it up? It'll be 2 laps to go next time by. Tiffin Simpson and Braden Eves, very similar lap times, very similar pace. And one of the issues here with this racetrack, again, these cars, when you get close, you start getting a bit of aero wash as the air does not fly over top of your front wing there, your wing there to hold the front end down. So you get some mid-corner understeer. But it's the long straightaways here that are so great at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Give you that time to make the draft, make the move to the inside. Guys up front, though, just getting it done. Petrov still holding them back. Half a second advantage. It's about 3, maybe 4 car lengths out of turn number 2.
An impressive run for Petrov. 2 laps remaining in our first race of the day, second of the weekend for the Indy Pro 2000 drivers, the Grand Prix of Indianapolis. Field makes their way down Holman Boulevard. Petrov, Eves, it's Simpson, then Reese Gold, and Ahmed round out your top 5. Miller, Abel, McElray, Rasmussen up to 9th, and James Rowe, who's back on pit lane, is currently the driver who rounds out our top 10. They will get the white flag this time by. Can Petrov hold off his teammate Braden Eves? Field makes their way through the final portion of this course through turn 10, now 11, making their way through turn number 12. If anybody's got anything to show, it's go time.
Yeah, for Braden Eves, though, in his mindset, knowing, as Greg had pointed out before, the fact that Rasmussen already down in 9th position, that is going to be big for him. He's got that understanding, hey, you know what? I don't need to throw this away because I got a 13-point lead when I'm all done here.
Second is a win for him in this race right here.
It is. And this is the thing. I'm so surprised that we saw nobody come to pit lane for fresh tires. I cannot believe that Rasmussen didn't do it. The only thing would be maybe they don't have fresh rubber to put on. Rasmussen currently in that 9th position. Not like he'd be giving up any positions on the racetrack. But indeed, final lap here for Artem Petrov to become yet another winner here in the Indy Pro 2000 category. Petrov trying to get that first victory of 2021. As we know, you get that first win, it often opens the floodgates, but we've had a lot of guys score race wins already this season.
But good to see him able to make his way through the field on that melee in turn number 1 and to be able to hold off his teammate. It's been an impressive run for Artem Petrov. Can he complete the final 6 turns and score his maiden victory? Artem Petrov, Braden Eves, and then our third-place runner, Tiffin Simpson. Looks like his teammate, Reese Gold, might not be done yet, but he only has a few corners to get that third rung on the podium position if he's going to do so. I should say the third step. Reese Gold battling with his teammate Tiffin Simpson. Field makes their way through turn number 13. Now turn 14.
Here comes Artem Petrov to be the 4th different winner in 2021 here in Indy Pro 2000. Across the line, Artem Petrov, hand in the air. Victorious here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Side by side across the line comes Simpson and Gold. Exclusive Autosport, the team out at the wall. And look at the adulation there. He is absolutely over the moon. Huge win for Artem Petrov. The boys are happy. Michael Duncalf and the crew at Exclusive Autosport. That's a 1-2 finish. You can't ask for much more than that, especially to start today. John Hayes, the engineer to the right side there. I said very, very accomplished engineer. And a great job there, Floris, as well, as part of that team. Huge, huge day here for Exclusive Autosport. Petrov with the win, Eves in second, but side by side across the line. Look at the margin between Simpson and Gold on the line.
Gold wanted that third step of the podium. Boy, he made a move on the exit of turn number 14, got alongside his teammate, unable to get it done.
12 thousandths of a second
Wow.
between those two drivers at the line. But again, that's what you want as well, right? When you're a team owner, Ricardo Hunt goes, do not take each other out, please. Just be smart. And there's the exclusive Autosport team making that very, very happy walk down to victory lane and the Art of Bricks as the drivers will roll themselves in here. Artem Petrov, as I said, fourth different winner. Braden Eves has won this season so far, as has Hunter McElroy and Christian Rasmussen. So put Petrov in the spot as well. And I'll tell you, 22 points behind in the championship as well, tightening things up in a big way. But as we said as well, Braden Eves, a big win for him. Greg said second's a win as well. 13-point lead now heading into the second race of the day.
So we will do some celebrating already here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Our first race of the day, second of the weekend for the Indy Pro 2000 drivers, the Grand Prix of Indianapolis. And congratulations to Artem Petrov. A great run for him this morning.
Let's do a full field rundown, folks, to cap things off as the drivers work their way in here. Artem Petrov with the win. Braden Eves finishing in second. Kiffin Simpson just holding off his teammate Reese Gold for third. First podium for Simpson as well. Gold fourth. Inam Ahmed, good run for P5. Jacob Abel able to outgun Jack William Miller in that race-long fight. Abel taking sixth. Jack William Miller seventh. Hunter McElroy in eighth. Christian Rasmussen ninth. Last driver coming across the line 2 laps back. James Rowe ends up in 10th. Manuel Suleiman in 11th. Colin Kaminsky in 12th and Wyatt Brkacek in 13th. And there is Artem Petrov on the top of the race car there, showing his delight at getting the victory here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
You know, it's always something to see these young drivers, no matter what rung on the road to Indy, to get that victory at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Greg. It's something that they will remember for the rest of their lives.
Especially when you are so young and just at the beginning of your career, to have this infusion of confidence, to know that you won here, you crossed the Yard of Bricks first in anything. That is such a huge deal. As a heads up, race fans, again, this is the way this day is going to be. You're about 20 minutes from the next batch of on-track activity. Obviously, we will continue to celebrate not just our race winner, but our top 3 finishers in this Indy Pro 2000 race. But Indy Lights qualifying comes up at 8:55. So again, on-track activity resumes in about 20 minutes.
And we are, of course, in celebration mode as we get ready to celebrate and honor our top 3 finishers in this Indy Pro 2000 Grand Prix of Indianapolis. But a quick reminder, please remember to keep a proper social distance between yourself and others while on the grounds, especially in highly populated areas. And keep yourselves safe and enjoy yourselves this race weekend here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Georgia is with our winner. Georgia?
Well, he has his mask on, but I don't think that smile has left his face. Artem Petrov with his first win of the season. Those track conditions were a little bit cold for you. Was that ever a concern?
Yeah, it was a little bit cold, but I started on the used tires, so it's better for the starts. Yeah, I don't really know how I managed to make it, because from the start I started P9 and I went to P3. Somehow, I didn't even understand how. And then I overtook a few people after the safety car, and I managed to keep my position. And that's incredible. So I want to say a big thanks for the car to the team. They did an awesome job. Thanks a lot.